Hey, you probably found this video because you want to have more fun selling and you want to learn how to sell in a manner that is consistent with consultative selling versus high pressure. And there's nothing like actually enjoying what you're doing. I find that so many people in sales can't stand what they're doing because it's a grind, and they make it such an intense thing that it loses its fun. And one of the things that I coach people on is, imagine being able to walk in any selling situation and just be able to have the posture like, I don't need the money. I don't need the sales. John, you know what? Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can't. Why don't we sit down? We'll talk it over, see if there's a fit. And if we can do something, we'll move forward, see what the next step is. If we can't, then we don't. Sound good? It's so much more fun to be able to operate like that than it is to go into every situation thinking that it's win-lose. If you don't get the sale, you lose and they win. It's just, there's nothing worse than that, because the pressure becomes way too great. But if you start off right from the beginning, knowing that you have a viable solution to a problem, and it's your job to get down to the bottom of it. There's three things that you want to find out as somebody who wants to engage in consultative selling and to become more successful at selling. The high pressure stuff doesn't work. People can't stand it. It's a joke. It's so old. It just doesn't work nowadays. There's three things you really want to figure out that are really core to the selling system that I use, and any good selling system. The first thing is you want to find out if there's pain. Interest, people don't buy on interest. They don't. And what every amateur salesperson does is when they get somebody on the phone or they get a prospect that shows some kind of interest, they get all excited and think that's going to translate into a sale, and it just doesn't. You have to get down to emotion. You have to get to the bottom of what their pain is, what their problem is, and figure out exactly, how much does it cost them? What's going to happen if they don't do something about it? And really get a gauge for how much it really hurts them, and lead them into that place, because a lot of times people will bury it. So you have to ask usually 3-4 questions to really get to the bottom of it and find the answer. But you have to establish whether or not there's sufficient pain for your problem or your product or service to solve. There has to be a big enough problem. It's got to be big enough to them. Next thing is you want to find out, do they have the money to actually look after the problem, buy your product or service if there's a fit there. And then the next thing after that is, do they have the authority, or does their wife or their husband have to be there, or does their boss or manager or somebody like that have to be there in order for them to actually pull the trigger and move forward on it? Guys, there's too many people who wing it, and they get to the sales meeting, get to the time where traditionally you would close, and they haven't figured any of that stuff out. They're just hoping, and then the person says, oh, you know what, this is so cool, and they're so excited all along the way, and you think, oh yeah, here's one in the bag. And you get to the end, and they're like, this is so awesome, but I don't have the money, or my wife has to be here, something like that. You could have saved yourself hours and hours of work and all that disappointment by getting that figured out right off the bat. And sometimes salespeople will have the problem. They don't really want to do that. They're not really fired up about. Give me 2 seconds here. They're not really fired up. They feel like that's too direct, and it's not. People really. Not everybody's going to love it. Of course, show me one thing that everybody's going to love. But if you come to somebody, and if that is a problem for you, you could even say something like this. Say, you know what, John, I got to be honest with you. I have a problem. They're going to say, what is it? I really want to find out and make sure that my product or service through this process is going to serve you. And I have a really hard time asking direct questions. So when it comes time, is it okay with you if I just ask, real straight up questions so that I can help serve you better? Something like that. It was off the top of my head. But the principle is like bringing the problem that you have, the challenge or struggle that you don't want to deal with, bringing it right up front, and they're gonna respect you for that. And so utilize that. Be honest and upfront. Authenticity is the new currency, guys. So be real and upfront and honest with people, and you're gonna see things change. If you want some access to some awesome training, I'm opening up the membership to be able to get more video content, more training, seminars, live events, all that stuff. Just click the link below. Get yourself registered. Tell us where to send the link for you to get signed up, and we'll see you on the inside. Thanks.